Hello, everyone. Welcome to Riding Tiger with Arijit once again. I'm really sorry about my cracked voice today, but it is not about the cracked voice. I've got an amazing lady with us. But before I introduce her to all of you, let me give you a brief background why this podcast is called as Riding Tiger with Arijit. So I started back in 1998. I was a kid, a 17-year-old kid who started India's one of the first game development studio that time. Eventually, from single person, that company grew into 400 plus people with a lot many different kind of activities that we do on deep tech and of course on finance and marketing. We hopped into technologies like artificial intelligence, blockchain, couple of things we have been doing with machine learning, and definitely with gaming, VR, AR, and few bit of other activities that we have been doing so far so good. 2008, I became a mentor, started giving back as a community giver and connecting with the globe, started traveling the world and connecting with various different person and personalities. While doing all these kind of activities, I felt a need that people need inspiration. And when you bring some other inspiration people in front of them and they talk about their life journey, a lot of people, they have changed their life. And to be very honest, when I look at that world, sometimes I hear that you guys are working on AI, robots will actually take away our job. AI will take away our job. And then eventually, I've been trying to tell them that, hey, no, it's not going to happen. Rather, it's going to be more on automation and definitely skill set upgrade. But unfortunately, when you speak with probably a different heart, it goes in a complete different way to the world. And while communicating with a woman who is in tech, I understood that they have been deeply working in robotics field. And not only that, she has been a great heart as a give back mindset heart. So I asked her, can you please come to the podcast and share a little bit about you and yourself and your company and your works? She said that, okay, fine, let me share a little bit if that helps. So that particular word, if that helps, touches your heart altogether. I have been training in lot many colleges and universities as a value giver, as a visiting faculty, and lot many of those young girls, they say, sir, we have limited opportunity for tech. And I always tell them, no, guys, you need to look to the world, how deeply women are working on technology. And today, let me introduce my new friend in this podcast, a lady of robotics. Welcome to Riding Tiger.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me and for such a great introduction. My name is Antonina Yermychuk. I'm a Chief Operating Officer of Deus Robotics.
Super. Can you please tell us about what exactly you do in this particular company and what are the kind of impact that you guys are making? I saw a lot of great pictures in LinkedIn though.
Yeah, sure. So as a CEO of a company, I particularly look after day-to-day operations. Also, I closely work with our CEO and our leadership team to execute some innovative initiatives and just to ensure efficient functioning of day-to-day operations and growth of the company. As a company in Deus Robotics, we automate warehouses with intelligent robots. So in our company, we created end-to-end solution and we help companies to be more efficient. And our vision as a company, and as you mentioned in the introduction, our vision as a company, we want to free people from repetitive tasks. And we would like people to work and create something and do something what is more challenging, more mentally challenging for them, more interesting than, for example, in the warehouse, walk back and forth to get or put back a parcel on a shelf. So yeah, that's what we do. And and we help companies to be more efficient, to help them reduce such a big problem as now labor shortage, as safety challenges, and many other challenges logistic companies and warehouses face around the world.
Brilliant. I'll give a little bit of hint to all the audience. If you look at Carrefour, and if you probably try to go there and purchase few bit of your maybe grocery, you will find out a robot is actually keeping track of all the inventories. It will calculate, navigate, and then give information to the more management people what is missing and what is needed. Now, why you do that? Because it's more efficient and it is more accurate. And people who are working behind this, they have amazing knowledge base. I have a small question to ask. When I look at this new tech world, this new deep tech world, which is more of like uncertainty, you as a woman, you all of a sudden hopped into a company which is into complete new different vertical altogether. Am I audible to you? My voice is okay? I'm sorry about
Yes.
the voice. Yeah. Yeah. So, how did you started your career? How did you thought that you will be hopped into such a career as a CEO role? If you can please give a little bit of your life journey.
Of course. Thank you for the question. So my journey started a long time ago. I've been working in technology for last 13 years, starting with my education. So I have master's in computer science and decision-making systems in one of the university in Kyiv, Ukraine. And after that, I started working for one of the smaller companies. It was a startup back then, and we were creating computer games. I started my journey in tech as a project manager, and I was very fortunate to work in that position where, together with the founder of the company and some other people, we managed to build this team and create few amazing games. And so throughout my journey, I worked as a project manager, I worked as a product manager, and also been leading some teams like technical product owners. And most of my career were in gaming. However, I was always passionate about robotics personally, about automation, about improving processes, about making some of what we have to do every day, just like I always thought that can be replaced, can be automized. And currently I worked as a person who looks after operations. So I personally do not develop, for example, robots, but I have an amazing team of 30 engineers who do that. And with them, we, in our strategic planning, in our day-to-day meetings, discussing what's our next stage, what our new model of robots will be doing, and so on. So I can tell more about my career path.
Please.
Throughout these 13 years, I'm originally from Ukraine, and I started my career in Ukraine. I worked in that a company where we, in like very short period, like was 7-8 months, we created one of the games, which was like a strategy game for mobile phones, and it was very successful. I am up until now very proud of that achievement. We were in top 10 games in the US market, and so on. And that was my first time when I worked with the founder of that company back then, Pavlo Pikulin, and I met then few other engineers. And long story short, those are the same people I'm working with now. Some of them, we call ourselves friends, and we were colleagues, then we became friends, then we now colleagues and friends again, which is great. So that was the beginning of my career. I worked in that company for around 4 years. Then I transitioned into a little different role. I became a product manager, and I also moved to a different country. I moved to the UK, moved to London, and I was wanted to try something a bit different. So I was looking after games, after creating, like, not managing the teams more, but creating ideas and creating games. And I worked in one of the largest companies there on the market, called IGT. And I was, it was a really great experience too. We were winning, competing in different tenders and so on. And me as a product manager, like, I was leading the game, which won a few international competitions, and we delivered a game to huge customers and so on. And that was really like a bit different experience, but also gave me this like confidence and power that my team ideas like valid, that they are loved by players, by the customers, and so on. After that, I moved again to a different role, because I felt myself that I do love games. I do love creating new ideas, implementing them. However, my true passion is actually managing the teams and developing people. So after that, I worked in another company when I was leading a team of technical product owners. And one of, like, I would say my the biggest achievement in that company was that I built a team from 5 people to 18, and half of these people were women, and there were people from 14 different countries.
Wow.
So, like, for this topic, like, what I believe that, like, and I often was asked question, how did I manage to build a team of 50% of women? Of course, when we were hiring, we were not excluding, candidates or anything like that. It's just the culture, their like the vision, the passion we had in our team. When, like, I and my colleagues were talking with candidates, we were always inviting them to be part of that culture, like, of collaboration, innovation, like inclusivity, and so on. And when candidates heard that, they tried very hard, maybe harder than they would try in another company, to get in our team. So that was really great part of my career, to develop that team, to see them grow, to empower them and influence them. And yeah, it was good. But at the same time, I always always been in contact, and was always seeing what's happening in the industry with the growth of AI, of robotics, and so on. I was reading a lot about that, studying that, and I always was in contact with this great team who were in parallel creating and developing this robotics startup, Deus Robotics. And I first was helping them as an advisor, and was fully involved in the operations and ideas from the very beginning, but just only overseeing. And up until, like, quite recent, I joined this company full-time as a CEO role. And so here we making a huge difference. And I can feel myself, like, what's a difference, what's a pros and cons to work for a small company. Like, these days, like, Deus Robotics, it's a startup. It's over 30 people only, to compare with previous companies I worked where there were thousands of people and so on. And when you can, of course, make the difference, and you can work as hard and so on, but startup is a different environment. And I personally like both, but currently with the experience of working in large companies, working at small companies, and seeing and borrowing the processes from large companies, implementing them in startup and so on, I think it's a very good time, in a good position for me and the company to be.
Super. So if I may define it properly, if you look at definitely a large company with a lot many people with different departments, a
Yeah,
growth person happens differently. And if you look at startup at the same time, you have a small team working like guerrillas, and they want to win the battle. That thing is more challenging. And I can understand you love challenges and you love to adopt new kind of roles, new kind of technologies. Not only that, what I have learned so far, you love to manage people. And running company is more of how you can manage a good team. Company is not built with bricks and mortars. It's built on people. It is
yeah,
eternal. And if you can do that, that's really amazing. For all the people, hope you know that I traveled to Ukraine in 2018. After that, I
yeah,
couldn't because of COVID and a couple of other reasons. It's a beautiful country in Europe. Well, you can travel to Moldova, you can travel to Romania, you can actually you can actually smell that Black Sea in Odessa and in Kiev. Definitely, you can connect with a lot of techies. If you don't know, I have few bit of freelancers from that country. It's an
yeah.
amazing people who will probably work with you for decades and they will never leave you if you treat them well. And you are from that beautiful country, and I'm really happy to meet you in this podcast. One quick question to you. If you look at your future as your future goal, where exactly you want to be and what will be your next step in next maybe 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, thank you so much for the remark about Ukraine. I'm currently in Kiev myself, like so. Yeah, so in 3 to 5 years, I see myself working in Deus Robotics. However, I would like Deus Robotics to be a much larger company than that. For example, now we're focusing and we're opening entity in the UK. We already got one of like very large client there, and we're delivering for them a automation project where we're automating one of their latest sortation centers and so on. And we believe with having such a customer on board, it will be much easier for us to find other customers in the UK and Europe than if we didn't have this customer. So for me personally, I see myself as a CEO of a Deus Robotics, but in 3 5 years, Deus Robotics will be completely like size wise much larger company. Now we not, but we Ukrainian origin. We have most of our R&D people are based in Ukraine. However, we have a small team representatives in the US, in Boston, and in London now. So we grow really fast, and the pace we going and the industry going, how much innovation and how much automation everyone needs. Yeah, like it will be few hundred, like with our financial calculation and so on, like there would be a few hundred people in different countries. And yeah, and I hope that you mentioned that I like managing people. I would say that I like to create the processes the best for the which fit all different people, because in software, in gaming, in hardware, though even though it's all tech, all people very different, and the processes which work and help them, empower them, are quite different to each other.
Yeah.
So now, like I'm really on one side, like the team is very small, and as you said, we have to work very very hard and so on. However, for me personally, it's really really helpful, because now together with my team we can create, like of course we do have processes which we follow and use and so on, but which if we want to improve something or change something, now it's much easier if we were 500 people company. So now for us, for me personally, for my team, for our CEO, is the main goal to improve even more our processes, to create, to polish our our products and so on, and scale up, because now we have few customers which we already delivered our robots, but now our main goal is expansion, and it's scale up, not only in Ukraine, in the US, in the UK, and other countries.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. If you really want to grow in few bit of other places, so regarding myself, I'm founder of World Leader Summit as well, which is one of the largest summit in the world. We have around 97 plus countries network, and we run a accelerator and a angel syndicate. I'm part of multiple different VC funds as an advisor, as a partner. If I can be helpful in any part of the world, feel free to connect, and definitely will be more than happy to help and grow your startup company. I'm sure that eventually it will grow like anything. One another quick question, which I usually ask to each and every participant in this podcast. Let me know if you can hear me properly. I'm really sorry about my
Yes.
voice today. Yeah. Okay. Imagine that you are in a park, and the park has no person apart from you, and there is only one bench. Weather is beautiful. It is around 17 degrees as the temperature. It's windy, it's sunny, birds are singing. It's a beautiful weather. And if I ask you to sit there with someone, whom would you choose and what kind of discussion you will have with that particular person? It can be any imaginary character, it can be anyone from your life. Whom would you choose?
That's a very interesting question. Um, mm, well, I mean, it depends, of course, who are we, like, if we're talking about here more career or work related, or let's say
It's
personal
your choice.
related.
You can have any conversation. It's your choice.
Well, I would probably choose maybe one of the big influential either men or women in technology who probably came from similar background as myself, and being in one of like top uh, 10 companies in the world, like faced probably like managed to grow the team, grow the company, and so on. And I would like to have a conversation with that person just about his or her career path and their lessons learned or advice he or she can give. To be honest, like if I would need to give a particular name, I wouldn't be able to say on top of my world, or off top of my head, like who exactly. Could be anyone from
From the
from
industry. Okay. So
yeah.
in that way, you are a life learner. You love to learn more and you want to grow more. And you want
Yeah,
to take people along with your path. You are not a person who will probably grow alone. You are a kind of woman who loves to take others along with your path and grow together. I wish
absolutely.
I wish all the best, all the happiness, all the great things in life comes to you, my dear new friend, and grow like leaps and bounds in life like anything. And of course, give your enlightenment and your beacon of light of knowledge to each and everyone. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your life journey and your future vision. So people who are listening to this, definitely feel free to comment, like, share, and if it is okay to you, maybe they can connect you directly in LinkedIn. If you don't know, I promote woman entrepreneurship. I promote woman upliftment. I call it as upliftment. I have been doing it very calm and quietly. Really don't want to put that as a buzzword in media. Rather, I push the startups which is there in my mentoring sessions. I usually ask them to take women in their team for one of the sole reason they can manage well and they can bring a lot of new energy in the company itself. With this note, thank you so much everyone for watching and commenting and sharing. I'm really blessed that you have been watching these podcasts and those inputs in various different channels. I'm really happy that the Instagram account that I have, which is my personal one. You have been commenting and sharing, like hundreds and thousands of people are actually watching. So have that positiveness in your life. There will be situation in life where you will have negativity, but if you can actually overcome that, there is light. So never ever lose hope. And if you can look at this bright woman, for all of you, if you don't know, till date there are missiles which is there in Ukraine. If you don't know, there are war that is happening in that country, but then still they are working like amazing as a team and as a countryman. So with this note, let us have peace and love with each other. Thank you so much once again for coming and sharing your inputs.
Thank
Спасибо.
you so much. Дякую.